It's fun. Really. Where the hell is the fun in media gone, I wonder?
Well, yeah, that's that's kind of been focused in another direction, hasn't it? In terms of what fun media can be. And again, it's about simplification and obviousness.
Well, it needs to be original, you know? I see the same things playing out day after day, night after night. Political scumbaggery, rapes, murders, car accidents, some people getting blown up overseas or something, and then a fluffy kitty.
Yeah.
Every freaking time with the fluffy kitty. I don't like the idea of the 30-second news piece. Okay. Can I ask, what's your perception of this? I mean, in terms of attention span, and the average person, who the hell knows what the average person is? Have you met the average person? I've never met the average person. Hello, no. I'm average. You know, really? You know, but with that reduced attention span down to the 30 seconds, and now this coming on, apparently what's happening is you forget the last thing that you were told because you've been told that there's something new coming up. So it doesn't actually matter what the news tells you because you forget it right after they finish the story and come up with a new one. Mm-hmm. Right? So nobody's got an actual a data clock running. Okay, so let's say you actually remembered news stories, all right? Really remembered them. People would remember everything John Key said before and after the election. Wouldn't that be a frickin' disaster?
Yeah.
Doesn't happen, though, does it?
Mm.
The complacency, the inability to recall, and furthermore to that, the unwillingness to look is what tends to dominate the media scene in this country. I've seen it happen in talk radio, I've seen it happen in the print media, and I've seen it happen on the TV, of course. Right? Mm-hmm. A residual, gradual dumbing down of the information to the point where they can talk for pages or minutes or hours and not actually increase the general knowledge base of a listener one frickin' iota. That disgusts me. They've made an art form out of bullshitting people for a frickin' living. That disgusts me. It really disappoints me too. There could be some air of patriotism, honour, pride, discipline of some description? No. Just proselytize yourself. I was just thinking about this the other day. You know how they're all wearing suits? Well, apparently there's a lot of symbolism in the suit. A lot of it. What do you normally got around your neck? The collar, isn't it? Yeah. What do you got around your wrists? The cuffs, isn't it? And what you got around your neck? You got a tie? So you got a noose around your neck, and a collar, and cuffs around your wrists, and you think that you're free. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Mr. Newsman? As you say there in your respectful, very, very monotonous voice, and attempt to bullshit people into thinking that you know what you're talking about. Right? That stuff really irks me. It's like people love their slavery. They love their servitude. They love not having to think.
Yeah, well, people do. People do. If you don't have to think, you don't have to consider what actions are your responsibility, what parts of your life are your own responsibility. So it's a pretty nice thing to not have to do, really. I
don't know. I think, you know, like like we were talking before about, having faith and just the very benefits of it. I was just kind of thinking about these people because I talk with journalists on occasion. Some are good. Well, actually, very, very few are good. On the whole, the ones that I've been doing, I think the word I would use is soullessness.
Mm-hmm.
Soulless. You look in their eyes and there's nothing there. You don't get the sense that they're genuine, like they care about anything other than themselves. Like, not entirely like a psycho, but they're just scum, Like they've got nothing positive to contribute to the world, and so naturally they tell everybody about the useless stuff that goes on in it for a living. I mean, have you've noticed this exact same trend that I have, haven't you?
What, in journalists personally?
Yeah.
I haven't really talked to a lot, to be honest. So
You're never going to protest
to avoid that.
You try to avoid it.
I've been to a couple, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just get the feeling that they think that they're better than you. You ever meet people like that? You just get the impression that they consider themselves a cut above everybody else. They refer to, in fact, this happened to me in the Journalists Association. I was told by one of the people in there that this Journalists Association group is for reputable journalists, not the unwashed masses.
Right. And
that actually really struck a chord with me because, occasionally I go a whole day without a shower, and and I'm massive too. I'm 6'4", I feel kind of unwashed and massive at some time, I kind of feel like one of the unwashed masses. I am. In fact, we all frickin' are, all right? I think people sit in their little miniature ivory towers with their bonsai trees and what have you, and they look over the table of miniatures and they think that they're big. It's like, bro, you're a cockroach. Okay, you've got no soul. You've got no purpose in life. You misinform and reinforce moral decay in society for a job. Okay, you got nothing to be proud of. And, I'm going off on a real rant tonight, eh? I'm just effed off today, Shane. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, like you say, the show's entertaining.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And and the other part of the thing, hell, I think I've gotten addicted, Shane. Like how somebody like they'll try a pee and then they're like, no, I really don't like that or whatever, and then before you know it, they're hooked. I like tried insulting politicians and journalists and general assorted scum, and I'm like, no, that's bad, I shouldn't do that, and then I'm hooked. I just can't help myself. I've gone to rehab, and then, have like a 72-hour news blackouts, and then as soon as the news comes back on, I'm back to the abuse, It's just relentless. I can't help it. I mean, maybe because I think it's justifiable. I mean, seriously, how much abuse of the media do you hear in the media? You don't, because it's the Fox Garden to Hen House. They won't criticise their own pathetic dinosaur establishment that has no frickin' value or relevance anymore. Would they?
Yeah, of course not.
It was a frickin' clique. These pathetic scum. So now they're drinking their Heinekens and then doing crystal meth on the weekends and whatnot, and coming in and doing the early morning show and what have you. In fact, that's been exposed, hasn't it? There was some kind of news broadcast. Was it Darren McDonald or something like that a number of years ago? He got busted doing a whole lot of pee and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And apparently the drug scene is rampant throughout the media, rampant throughout everything. Wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be? I mean, what happens to rich and powerful and well-connected people in a society where drugs are illegal? Well, they find really good drugs, don't they? I mean, it's not rocket science. Although they did use them to manufacture the drugs. And apparently the cops are knee-deep in this stuff as well. And, you know, actually, I'm starting to get sick of all forms of officialdom. Like, you know, you can't go cold turkey from them because they're always in your face. You've always got to pay rent or bills or something like that. There's always somebody who wants to boss you around. There's always somebody with some kind of authority over you that doesn't give a crap about you. They don't even ask how you are before they start raping you. You know. Not literally. Well, in some cases, literally. Especially if you're the New Zealand police. Oh, no. They don't rape people. They just let people get raped and don't arrest the people that admit that they're doing it and put the videos up on YouTube. No. The police don't arrest those people. What they do is they try to fine and prosecute, what was his name, Bomber Bradbury, for criticising them over it. Okay, because allegedly they think that people reporting on them not arresting known rapists gives them a bad name, right? Apparently. How about this, cops? How about instead of prosecuting the people who report that you're not arresting the rapist, why don't you just arrest the rapist? How about that for your PR? Okay? Am I wrong? Have I blown this out of proportion? I don't think so. And how about stop killing people? Or stop violently assaulting people for absolutely no reason? How about not, I don't know, getting up in people's faces when they're perfectly calm and telling them to calm down in order to try and get a rise out of them so that they try and push you out of their personal space? How about not agitating? You know? The societal problems that we've got, Shane, are endless. Frickin' endless. And the reason why they're endless is because one person can't solve them, because the problem is nobody's frickin' responsible for their actions anymore. Nobody! Especially if you're wearing a uniform. Especially if you're one of the criminal cabal that run this frickin' country. Especially if you're one of the criminal banksters that run them. And especially if you're one of the massive satanic pedophile cults that run that. It's just like this, have you heard of the fractal universe theory, Shane?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Alright. And for those in the listening audience, if you don't know what the fractal universe thing is, okay, basically it's like a hologram, okay? Let's say you got a picture of a peacock's tail feather or something like that, all right? And you're zooming in. And in each pixel of the peacock's tail feather, another peacock's tail feather picture comes up. Amazing! And then you zoom into that, and then another one comes up. And that's kind of the system of the fractal universe, you know? Planets become atoms when you're zooming out, you know? And you know, it works the reverse as well. What I've discovered is another phenomenon that has to do with scumbaggery. Fractal scumbaggery. For each instance of scumbaggery you start looking into, a whole new universe of scumbaggery starts coming to light. And then you look into that whole new universe of scumbaggery, and yet another universe of scumbaggery starts enveloping out in front of your eyes. That's how bad it's gotten, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not joking. I may be taking it a little bit too seriously. Not too seriously, I hope, but if you... How could I ever accuse myself of taking things too seriously? I mean, do I listen to myself? Unbelievable. And you can get stressed out about this. You know, you can. I remember for a point then...